Sam's not going to be joining us tonight. He's apologised to me. I accept his apology. It's the second time. I've set time aside around me training and my family and me eating schedule to do this. So I'm just going to crack on. And I understand if people don't want to hear me go on and he wanted to see a little bit of beef, but I don't have the dancing partner for that tonight. But we'll do this podcast as is.
Brilliant, mate. And listen, at the end of the day, it takes two to tango, doesn't it, Nick?
Yeah, it does take two to tango, mate. But for whatever reason, Sam's not here, and I respect that. You know, we can't always. We've got family obligations. We're working class men. We don't have leisurely time to sit around and just, you know, shoot interviews whenever. So life gets in the way, and that's maybe why he's not here tonight.
That's right, mate. Well, shall we start, mate?
Go on ahead, yeah. Hit me with your worst, because I was going to give the human roll-on a few different roll-on deodorants, a few different looks tonight.
Yeah, that's right. First of all, mate, how are you?
I'm all right, mate. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I'm in the trenches in camp at the moment. Being 39. It does play a factor, you know. I'm no longer in my peak years, and it does play a role. I've really got to be careful about what I eat, when I eat, what I do in training, how I recover. And I've really, I learned that in the first camp. Because I attacked it full throttle like I did when I was younger. But then I started picking up little niggles and injuries and stuff. So I'm in the trenches in camp at the moment. You know, I feel lethargic around me training. I'd love to be a better version of a dad than I'm being right now, if I'm deadly honest with you. I'm quite snappy and sharp and tired in the house with the diet and everything else. But this was all part and parcel of the game. Other than that, probably in the best place in my life and on my purpose. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Super fit. I'm super fit. First time I've been super fit for years.
How's your weight going? Yeah, how's the weight cut?
So, when I was in Africa, the weight was holding for ages and holding. I must have just been holding on to loads of water. And then when I come back, so I come back about 6 days ago, and I had it just all flushed up. No, was it 6 days? Maybe more. I don't know. I lose track of the days. But I came back, and then I had like a 2 kilo flush, which because I thought my weight had plateaued. So now I'm sitting around 73, which is nice. It's ideal 73, because what I don't want to do is, I don't want to be one of these. I leave no stone unturned, mate. I am on top of my calories like nobody's business. And I don't want to be one of these fighters who leaves it till last minute. So I've really done the weight properly, and as I should have. And I'm sitting around 73 now. I've got about 2 weeks. If I have to do a water cut, it'll be minimal. So I'm happy with where I'm at, weight-wise.
So you're right on track, mate, yeah?
I'm on, as far as I know, you know, my depth of knowledge with weight cuts was years ago, you know, because of me competing. But as far as I know, I'm on track. I'm 73. I need to be 70 on the night, and I've got how many days now? I've got over 14 days or 13 days. Easy. Yeah.
That's right. Brilliant, mate. Well, you know, I know many fighters, mate, that do a lot more than that in a lot less time. Do you know what I mean? On the cut last minute.
Probably as a younger man, you could get away with it. And I don't know if I could or couldn't. I just know how I feel after training at this day and age, being 39, isn't the same way I used to feel when I was like early, you know, like in my 20s or even sub 35. The way I feel after training and the way that I'm training is, I feel my age. So I'm electric for that session or those 2 sessions I'm doing a day. I'm electric, but around that, I'm like a carcass. If I'm honest.
It's right, mate. That's good to hear. Mate, tell us about your journey through amateur boxing. That's led. And brought you to here now at this present moment in time in the bare knuckle. Do you know what I mean? That's always an interesting everyone always likes to hear that, like, you know.
Yeah, so I started boxing when I was 7. My stepdad introduced me to boxing at the age of 7. He used to spar me in the living room and have me and my elder sister Taryn sparring. And I used to live just off Smithdown Road, and he took me to Tony Darby's gym, where it's the ABC. And I'd done my first couple of years there until we moved back to the Whittle, and I ended up going to West Whittle Amateur Boxing Club. I had my first 4 bouts for them when I was about 13. And then we moved gyms over to Vauxhall Motors Amateur Boxing Club, where I had some cracking coaches. I had a brilliant coach and a fella called George Treble, who produced loads of champions, including a kid called Nick MacDonald, who was my sparring partner. We had a kid called Davy Clarke, again, who was my sparring partner. Davy Clarke beat Amir Khan. He was a good fighter, and he was my age and my weight. And back then, when we were kids, I don't know, we didn't really get along that well in school. Back then, when we were kids, I get along with him sound now, you know, he's a lovely fella. But he used to fucking pace me. He used to pace me in sparring. And Nick MacDonald, 10-time national champion, qualified for the Olympics with Khan. Just didn't go because of whatever reason, but he went to Commonwealth Games. So I had those two in the gym with me alongside. We had little Paul Butler. We had Mason Cartwright. So I come from good stock. I come from a gym with great pedigree. We had Peter Phelan as a coach. There's so many coaches I could name, but the two main coaches were Peter Phelan and George Treble, and they were brilliant at what they did. They just turned out champion year after year after year. We had a kid called Matty Fagan as well, one of the highest IQs of any fighter. When I was a kid, and alongside that, you know, I had my dad who boxed. He boxed Brian Schumacher. My dad, do you know Shuey? You heard of Brian Schumacher? So my dad boxed him when he was a kid, and my stepdad was a brilliant boxer as well. So my whole upbringing was just boxing. I remember, you know, my stepdad gave me a box of videos, and I just used to watch fighters from, like, I don't know, like the 40s onwards, and that would be my evening viewing. You know, I watched fighters like Carlos Monzon before I walked through a gym door. I'd already seen these guys, so then what I would do is I would try and emulate them in the gym. And I mixed in half decent class, you know, where my best opponent as an amateur was a kid called Bradley Saunders. And he lit me up, but I had a load of good sparring. I went to the Army boxing team, and I had 9 fights for the Army boxing team, but at the time my heart wasn't really in it, truth be told. I boxed in a contest for the Combined Services, I think it was a Welsh Commonwealth Games Select in 2006, and I broke my right arm in half, like literally severed my right arm in half. My bone, my humerus. And that was kind of an easy way out for me because my heart wasn't in it no more. When I took a loss to that Olympian, that Bradley Saunders, when I took a loss to him, the work I'd put in beforehand and the weight cut I'd had to go through and all of that, and he beat me so conclusively, I was like, I've always been in this game to win a world title. That's why I'm in the bare knuckle. I'm not in this game to perform on a mediocre level. I don't want a life of mediocrity. I want to be a world champion in all 3 different organizations, and I'm not embarrassed to say it. I'm in this full throttle, mate. I train like a consummate professional. So when I was a kid, I did the same. I tried to outwork everybody. And then when I got beat so conclusively, I thought my heart just kind of like left the room. And I couldn't apply the same desire because if I'm honest, look, there any fighter who's gone through the pros and won a British title, won a European, won a Commonwealth and done all that, I rate you, like I really rate you. But for me, if I'm going to give all that work, I want to be world champion or nothing. Like, it's so much work and so much dedication. And that's why I put it off for years and years and years. That's why I didn't decide to have another go, because when I do things, I don't do things by halves. So right now, just going from the amateur boxing journey, from me spewing it and just, I don't know, just living a normal life, just going on the piss and just like, you know, just being a normal fella. I did coach. I coached a lot of fighters, and I think ultimately that's where I'll leave my legacy with boxing, because I had great teachers. When I was younger, I used to sit next to George Treble when we'd watch bouts, and George would explain things to me, and I would get the coaching side of things, and I would understand what he's saying. That's where I developed an IQ. But my stepdad would do the same as well. My stepdad would say, well, if you throw a feint and you see a fighter do this, and you do it again, and you see him do it again, then the likelihood is that's a mistake he's going to persistently make. So I've developed that with me coaching, and I like to coach in such a way where it's like I teach the fighter how to think first before I teach him how to throw. Because you can teach anyone to throw, but you can't teach a fighter how to think. Like, and I think ultimately that's where I'll leave my legacy. My intentions at the end of all of this, when I leave boxing, if I ever do, we never do, you know, like how many old fellas you see down the gyms. When I leave boxing, I want to have created world champions, multiple world champions, and that's my ultimate end game. But while I'm on this journey right now, doing the bare knuckle boxing, that's what's led me here. Yeah, I'm grateful for the. I used to travel, so I used to jump on the train after school for 40 minutes to Ellesmere Port to go and box at to go and box at the Vauxhall Motors Amateur Boxing Club. It's called Will CP now, and then I used to get the train back. So my whole kind of life was boxing, and if it didn't get the train, I would get picked up. So what happened was, I was working in a factory in the North End in Birkenhead, making colostomy bags and packing paracetamols and all that. Yeah. And because I didn't know how to do a diet or nothing, I'd eat nothing all day but a lollipop. This is what happened when I boxed Bradley Saunders. I'd eat nothing all day but a lollipop. And then I'd run from the North End in Birkenhead to Morton, where I get picked up, which was about 2.5, 3 miles. Get picked up by my coach, go to the gym, and I'd be there from the very first session till the last session, because that's when he'd be there. So I'd be there for 3 hours, and then I'd get back, and then I'd have my first meal of the day, and I repeated that cycle for about 8 months when I become like a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, when I was ready to work, and then getting beat so conclusively by that Olympian at the time, especially after the weight cut and all of that, was like, that's why my heart fell out of it, I suppose, all of the work I'd put into it. But naively, if I'd have had me there, I'd have just continued to feed say, listen, you know, you're supposed to lose that. That kid had 75 from 71. He was a top kid. You competed well, but it was only over 4 2-minute rounds. It would have been a little bit different. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm blaming myself. I was naive. I was naive in dealing with losses. But I feel like if it did turn over, if it did turn pro, I would have done very well, because I mixed in good class in sparring. And, you know, and I always held my own against everybody. Nobody ever turned me over. So I think I would have done well if it turned pro, but I'm having a crack at it now. And I still have the same desire now. I still have the same desire. This was the problem for me. The reason I got back into it so late was I just needed to be certain that I would do what it takes to become a world champion. And if you envisage it, I envisage myself now as a world champion, and I don't care how that comes across to anybody. I train that way and I behave that way. Yeah. So I train that way, I behave that way, and I conduct myself that way. I've spent more money investing in this camp than I'm making tickets. Investing in myself. I bought a setup outside with the sauna and the cold plunge. Like, I'm proper investing into myself, and I'm manifest and visualize everything that's happening right now. All of these little cogs that are turning, like opportunities that are coming up, I've manifested and visualized them. I just needed to know before I stepped into this. Because remember, I was laying in bed. I feel like I'm going on, but I was laying in bed with my missus. I was laying in bed with my missus, and she says, "How long is this going to last?" I said, "Till the wheels fall off, until I win a world title." And she went, "Well, you know, you're going to have to start doing runs and that." Because back then I just used to lift weights. You're going to have to start doing runs and that. I said, "You just watch." I said, "Watch me turn into a different person." I said, This is, when I do it, the reason I've left it so long is because I knew how hard the path was. The path of a world champion, which is what I want to be, is very, very difficult. You're talking like, how much of a percentage? Can I achieve it? Who knows? Am I doing every single possible thing I could to achieve it? 1,000,000% I am. So that's the end game for me.
I can vouch for that, mate. You're 100% a professional, mate. I know I've only met you once in person and that, but even your aura, everything about you, mate, speaks volumes about you. I can tell you've left no stone unturned, mate.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I've left no stone unturned.
Based off the questions, right? But my mate's on here and he's asked a good question there. Do you have any rituals, Mick, to help you prep?
No, rituals that help me prep. I kind of just eat the same things every day, prep for the weigh-in. But in terms of the fight rituals, I don't know. My last fight, right? Do I have any rituals, right? So every second day, I do a zone 2 session every second day. So I train 6 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'll do 2 sessions, 2 red line sessions, depending on how my body feels. Sometimes I might do a zone 2, so I'll stick between zone 2, zone 4, and I dip into zone 5, so I don't burn me. What's it called? My central nervous system out.
Yeah.
But on them zone 2 days, then one where I'm keeping my heart rate around 136 to 140, I find it so boring, and I've upped it to an hour. So I just have these videos I listen to, these motivational videos I listen to on YouTube with like all of the greatest fighters ever speaking on them. And it just gets me in that. They're my rituals. Now, the day of my fight, my last time, like, I love listening to Tyson. So I've got a video and I didn't even know my bird was taking it. Now, I'm pacing all day, like I said on the last podcast we did. But in the hotel room, like 9:30, 10 in the morning, I'm shifting and I'm throwing my shots and I'm warming up and I've got, my missus took a video of me. I didn't know she was, but I've got Mike Tyson in the back. I'm listening to Mike Tyson and a bit of DMX, mate. If I put DMX on in my ears, it's just the, I used to do this run every night. My stepdad used to come in, get me up, be 11 o'clock at night, could be any time of night. He'd be like, have you done your run? And if I neglected it that day, my mum would grass on me. My mum would grass on me, right? And it wouldn't matter what time it was because he'd say, listen, lad, they're going to make documentaries about you. You're going to be a champion. And this is what it takes for you to get there. So he bought me a mini disc player. So I'd have like the DMX on in my mini disc player. And I'd just do this one route. So that DMX now, I don't even listen to it around like fight night. Fight night only, I put it on and it gets me in that fucking zone where I'm ready to just rip someone up. And I did it in the last fight and it just gave me that. I don't know why DMX just is. It just resonates with me as a fighter, you know, the lyrics, especially slipping, you know, growing up. Some of the things I can look at from my childhood, slipping is definitely the one. I don't know if you know that tune, but for me, DMX is the one. So fight rituals, bit of DMX. Listen to Tyson speak.
That's Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Even though, look, I don't think Tyson's in the top 5 in history. Truly, I don't think Tyson's in the top 5 personally, but I love him. You know what I mean? Like, there's no. I love his honesty. I love his raw honesty. Just who he is as a person, and he didn't read that. It's a difficult
one, isn't it, mate, to put people in the top 5 through history because there's many an icon, isn't he? We'd like to have faced off that in different eras, if you know what I mean. It's like
Larry Holmes doesn't get his props. Joe Lewis is too far from getting his props, isn't he? Because people are so removed from even watching what he did. But look at Joe Lewis; he was a representation of not only like black people at the time, not only boxing, but America on a whole. Like he had the weight of the world on his shoulders and still performed the way he did and was just icing people. Like Joe Lewis deserves more of a look in. Look at George Foreman, mate. George Foreman come from the Ali era to win a title in the Tyson era.
How old was he when he won that title? Wasn't he 40?
42 or something, weren't he, there or thereabouts?
I think he was a little bit older, mate.
Was he?
46.
Was he? He may have been. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm that invested in George Foreman's career. I watch a bit more of him now. But there's nothing about Foreman I could mimic because Foreman was. I watch fighters I can mimic a lot. So I watch a lot of fighters that I can mimic because of my physical attributes form, and there's nothing really I can mimic about him. I do like watching his fight. I love him v Ron Lyle. Whoa, when he had his comeback, fucking hell, have you seen that fight? Have you ever watched Foreman v Lyle?
Yeah, I've watched them all, mate.
Yeah, what a fight. But Foreman was able to win a title in the Tyson era and mixed it with Holyfield. Yeah, he got pinged by Holyfield, but he should never have even been in there with him because of his age. But he come from the Ali era. And I was talking with a coach that I trained with today, and he was saying that Ali probably wasn't like, he doesn't think Ali was top 5. I was like, are you messing? Like Ali, either Ali or Lewis are number one. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
I've got to ask you, mate, how's it felt with all the attention and all the noise that's being made around your fight with Sam Clarke on this occasion? Because it's blew up, hasn't it?
Yeah, it blew up. It's look, I visualised it right, but it doesn't make it any less weird. Because I've lived a life of obscurity for a long time. Where to say obscurity, like where I'm not really noticed or anything like that. But I've been out up by ours. I live in Leeds now, but I've been out up by ours and like had 4 people stop me in a day and just chat to me. I was at a boxing show the other night and I had 2 people stop me the other day. One fella grabbed me for a photo and that. It's been dead weird. It's been dead weird, but then it's comes with the territory, like fame. And I don't think I'll achieve fame. Let's be realistic. I'm in the early stages, but fame is my idea of hell. I have a short attention span, especially when it comes to the phone, responding to people on the phone and that. It gives me anxiety. I'd rather see you in person and have a conversation. Fame is my idea of hell because you know, like I've got 20 messages, for example, on me, and I don't want to come across rude, but I just can't get back to people. Like if I did that, my missus look at me and says, "You're only ever on you're just fucking on your phone all day," and I'm like, how do I manage this? That's what's been weird for me. I think, how do I manage this now? A couple of years ago, I had a shop, right? And I struggled with that. It was a takeaway shop and I struggled with messaging people back. Like, you know what I mean? So, like...
Blanking the orders.
No. Yeah, to an extent. Yeah. Because I just couldn't deal with it. We went from having 20 orders a night to going on Just Eat. And it ramped up to like 130 orders a night at times. And it was manic, mate. It was like... So I'm feeling the same kind of like... I'm feeling a similar stress from the attention now. But then ultimately, I know it's part of the process. And so it's just something I've got to adapt to. But I don't think I'll have to adapt to it like in any kind of big way. Let's be realistic. I mean... You know, if it pops and I make a lot of dough out of it and I gain a lot of fame, then great. But if you're the type of fella who's going to stop me in the street and we'll have a conversation, I've got all the time in the world for you. I'm a salty kind of fella like that. I'm not really like up my own ass. So yeah, it's been odd for me coming from being the fat fella on the couch to being stopped in the street and people saying, "Oh, you're in boss shape." I'll tell you one thing, right? Again, people say this to me all the time. You're in boss shape, right? You get to a point where initially when you started out getting yourself in shape, the key factor was getting yourself in shape. Then when you get in shape, you just kind of like take it for granted. Like you're not asked. Like it's like it's nothing, if you know what I mean. I can't explain it. But yeah, I'm veering off there.
No. It's all good, mate. Is there anything you've done differently to prepare for this fight than your last fight? Is there anything different, specific, especially knowing that Sam he's a dangerous fighter himself, isn't he?
Well, I've had footage, so I've had footage to cater me training towards. I've worked on things that I think will work against Sam. Obviously, I'm not going to give my game plan away like he wouldn't. Training wise, I think I've trained a lot smarter this time round. I've trained a lot smarter, gaining the experience from the first bout. Is there anything different? Right? Yeah. I've invested loads of dough into kits that I think will make me better, into coaches, into self-promotion. I've decided to voice a lot of my thoughts, recording myself on social media and just voice my thoughts and throw it out there. And I've attempted to build this fight the best way I could. You know, I've observed the greats over the years and how they've done it and how they've achieved what they've achieved and how they've gotten a backing. And yeah, that's what I've done differently. In terms of the fight, preparing for the fight, I've got footage of this one. So I've gone through that with a fine-tooth comb and observed every moment of every second of every bout that I could, and visualized and worked on a few different patterns that we can set, a few different traps that we can lay. And I've relayed them to my coach. I've got a brilliant coach up here called Podrick McDonough, or Porrick. I think that's how he says now. I don't want to. But he runs Golden Team up here. He runs the Golden Team gym. He's a brilliant coach. I've been around loads of coaches. This kid's a wizard, mate. He's very, very, very good, and he opens your eyes to things that you might not necessarily see. And I record all of the footage with him, and then I watch it back, and then I'll go, "What do you think of this pig?" I'm not lifting my shoulder up high enough there, am I? And he'll go, and then we'll work on it the next time. So, yeah, I wouldn't say I've taken this more seriously, but I've approached this more intelligently. Whereas last time, what was my goal? I was just going to get in and just wreck the kid. That was the plan last time. I don't know who you are. It was like old amateur days where it was just like, mate, I'm just coming for a tear up, and let's have it. Whereas this time, I've had a little bit of footage to watch, so and I don't take sound lightly at all. You know, people are saying to me in my inbox, "This kid's just a swinger." Mate, I've watched his amateur bouts. This kid's not no swinger.
He's not just a swinger, mate.
Nah, he's an intelligent. He's an intelligent fighter who'll set you up. He's got little moves that he does to trigger a reaction from you.
Yeah.
So
chin time, mate, on the show in the
Brandon.
Yeah.
Brandon.
Yeah.
I sparred with Brandon.
I rate Brandon. He's a fucking good lad, know what I mean?
Game as well. Game as fuck. I sparred with him. I went down and sparred with him when I was overweight. I went down to that Stoke gym, right? When I was a bit like overweight and I was just getting me. I'd spoke to Stefan and I hadn't had no sparring, and I said, "Go ahead, give us a chance to come down there and spar." And I sparred him. Hector Galbraith. I sparred a kid called Jack. I forget Jack's name.
Jack Bars, he's good. Jack's good.
And I sparred Sammy Doherty as well. Right?
Yeah, Hector's good. Sammy's good. That's a fucking quality stable, mate. That's fucking
mate. I went down there, right, and that was my first proper spar. I won't lie, I just threw myself with the Lions, mate. And Hector Galbraith, listen, Hector, mate, and Brandon, they just come for me off the bat.
They don't stop, really.
Non-stop. And listen, for the first 2 rounds, I just chucked up and walked them down. I would never get away with that in bare knuckle ever. I would have got slaughtered. That's the truth of it. I just chucked up, but because my time was so far off, and because I was so far removed from doing any real hands-on sparring and that, I got lit up for the first couple of rounds, and then I adapted and I got a little bit better, and we mixed it well. Me and Sammy had a spar at the end of it, and he taught me a few things as well. You know, Sammy's a very, very good fighter, but that Jack, that kid who's fighting he's fighting gloved, he's a tasty kid. If he applies himself properly, he'd be a very, very good kid. His hand speed is disgusting. But I told him after the session, I went into coach mode and I just told them all about themselves. And I went, I went, "You're in love with your power." I said to him, "You're in love with your power." I said, "You don't set nothing up." I said, "Go and watch a fighter called Oliver McKenzie." I said, then you'll fall into the same traps because he was in love with his power and neglected his skills. I just started telling him, you can ask Hector and Brandon. And I said, Brandon, I said, you take too many shots. I said, because you're prepared to stand in the pocket to take too many shots. I said, you won't be able to hold your fucking grandkids, mate, or speak to them properly. So you better sort that out. After the session, you know, like, I went into coach mode, and I think it just nothing but respect. I've got nothing but respect for all of them in that gym. They're all fighters. Hector especially, mate, because Hector will come for you. It doesn't matter who you are, mate. Hector Galbraith is coming to bash you up.
Wolverine, I call it. Looks like Wolverine. He changed the Z now, but before he changed the Z, he looked like Wolverine.
Yeah. You know what he did? He was in the same regiment as me in the army, but just a few years later. But yeah, I really rate all of them in that gym, and I thank them for giving me that opportunity and giving me that headache, because I left that gym concussed to fuck. And you know what I did right after, right? Because I took too many shots in there. I was driving home and I went, fuming with myself here. Right, that's it. And I jumped in the gym. I went straight to the gym after that session. I went straight to the gym. I went straight to the gym, mate, and I worked on everything that I thought was wrong. And then sat there. I had a membership to the village gym in Bromborough by ours. I went straight to the gym, done a monstrous session, sat in the sauna, thinking to myself, and then I lay on one of the lounges they have by the pool, took a picture of my face all beat up. And yeah, that was a good day for me because I learned a lot. But Brandon, tough kid, mate, tough kid. And Sam, the way Sam beat him was very impressive. You know, I take a lot of credence from that fight with him. You know, I can't take this kid lightly.
No overlooking.
No, definitely not.
While we're on that point, strengths and weaknesses, Sam.
He's giving away a lot of weaknesses to me, isn't he? You know, I'm bigger than him. I'm bigger than him. I'd say I'm the bigger puncher. I wish he was here. I'd say I'm the bigger puncher. Because when I hear people, to quote Jeremy Stevens, they don't fucking move.
Yeah. I asked you to throw a left the other day, and you didn't even have a warm-up last. Do you know what, mate? I didn't tell you on the day. But while you was training, talking to Nicks, I had a whack at that machine. I give it a right hook, know what I mean? And I got 9-5 or something like that with me right hook.
Did you, yeah?
There was a couple of kids behind me, and he went, "You a boxer?" I went, I used to be, you know what I mean? And then you come out, and I went, "Give that a whack," and you went, "I'm not in it with me right. I'll give you the left." And I went, "Go on then." And you just went, you didn't even war, you didn't like, it wasn't 2 shots, 3 shots, it was just 1 shot. Mate, it impressed me.
I tell you what, mate. Do you know
905? I seen Paul Venus the other day put up a post on one of them, and he threw it right, and he only got 905 with a right hook.
Mate, I tell you what, my son, who's 16, he's fighting on the same bill. My son's called Mason Kelly, Mason the Sensation Kelly, right? Now, this has been a dream of ours since I'm veering off, but he went on there the other day, right, and absolutely wiped the floor with me. This kid has got, like, ferocious... I don't want to let him know, right, but he's probably watching this now, but he's got ferocious power, but I don't want him to fall in love with his power, because that's a common mistake fighters make. It's like hitting the jackpot in the fruity the first time you ever put the money in, and then that's how you get addicted. That's how you get addicted to just loading up with your shots and trying to take people out. So I tried to teach him how to set his power up, but he's fighting on the same show as me, my son. Like, Stefan has literally made my dreams come true. Now, after I boxed on Stefan's show, I had all of them get in touch with me about signing up. You know, the other organisations, I had them get in touch with me about signing up. And I had to look at myself in the mirror and go, well, you know, this man's giving you an opportunity, and practice what you preach, be a man of integrity, you know, and a man of loyalty. And I phoned Steph and I went and signed a contract with him. I didn't need to sign a contract with him, but I did. And, you know, since I did that, I know for a fact I made the right move, because the stars are beginning to align for me. My son's boxing on the same show as me. This is something we envisaged. I envisaged from him being born. I was always going to take him to the boxing gym with me. It's been a big part of my life. But I'll tell you what, wait till you see my son. His fight IQ is through the roof. But yeah, he beats me on the punch machine, Mason.
Yeah.
He can. Whack. Yeah. Oh, he's 16. He's 60 kilo. He beats me on the punch machine, mate, all day long.
Yeah. I can't
He
wait
lit me up the other day.
Mate.
He lit me up the other day in sparring. I done an hour on the cross trainer, and he walked in the gym, and I went, "Come on, let's have a couple of rounds." And he was like, ping, 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 just jabs, just catching me from everywhere. He was brilliant.
That's what I was going to touch on next. The sparring you've done, mate.
Yeah.
I know you've mentioned you went up to Badstone and done a day there sparring with all the lads from there.
Yeah.
What type, how intense has your sparring been? Have you been regular with it, or have you been?
Yeah, I've been regular with it. I was working out in Africa, wasn't I? Now I've left the sparring alone since then. I just do a bit of tech sparring now, because it's getting too close and I don't want to get injured. I've got too much on the line. But I've been working out in Africa with a fighter called Mbachi Kayonga, and another kid called Hilary Kataya. Now these kids had over 200 amateurs. They went to African Games, they went to World Games, both professional fighters. This Mbachi Kayonga walks around about. The problem for them is they don't get no exposure because they're from Zambia. They don't get the exposure they deserve, which is really fucking cruel. But they're brilliant fighters, brilliant. Trust me when I tell you, like, they're Olympic level fighters. Now, when I spar in Bachi, the thing is like every African fighter, they're rough and rugged, and he want to take your head off, mate. And so he's got a 90% knockout ratio, this kid, and he's had 9-1-8. In the one that he lost, he was in Tanzania. There was a mad head clash, and the referee just stopped it and gave the loss to him. He didn't deserve the loss. But as far as, like, I'm trying to get him over here to spar Callum Simpson. I'm in the process of getting that going, and we've got him a sponsorship, and like, I really want to help him out because I think he could be a world-class fighter. So me and him are sparring, and it's hell for leather. And I won't make no bones about it. The kid's like early 30s, and I have rounds where he's beating chunks out of me, and I mean proper beating chunks out of me, and that teaches me that I've got all I need for this bare knuckle game, because he's got a 90% knockout ratio. I don't know if you ever sparred with somebody so there's a difference between punches. Some punches can hit you and you feel a bit of pop, but some punches are concussive punches. And what I mean by concussive punches is your body vibrates when they hit you. And mate, every shot this kid throws, and he's got naughty skills. And the fact that I'm even mixing it with him, I've got rounds there where I'm getting the better of him in some of the rounds as well. So he's been at it for years, had loads and loads of fights, and I've been sparring with him. And I find myself the nail most of the time. One day you're hammer, one day you're the nail. I find myself the nail, which is great preparation, I believe. I believe it's great preparation for what I'm going into. The other kid, Hilary, he's about Sam's size. I get the better of him. But again, he's a great spar.
Yeah, that's right, mate. Great answer. Like, without giving too much away, mate. Obviously, I don't want you to give the game plan away and whatever, right? But how'd you get this win, mate?
By knockout. By knocking him. Every fighter I fight in this bare knuckle is getting knocked out, mate. Like, that's I've in my 20s, right? I had unfulfilled goals in the boxing, and because I was too stupid to have. I was too stupid to recognise my skill set. I would get into fights with people in the street, and I sound like a bit of a knobhead here, but I don't mean to. I don't mean to come across that way. But I've starched a lot of people. Like, there's no one I haven't hit where I haven't put them out. So, yeah, I think like with a bare fist, I think you're going to sleep, and so that's how I see. He looks resilient, he looks tough, but then he hasn't been hit by me. And yeah, I just see me starting him, and especially if he comes for me, and I hope he does, because what you're going to get to see is the dog in me, mate. And I've always above all else from my amateur days, I've always been known as a tough fighter. I'm a very, very, very tough fighter. I'm hard to beat. I've got a granite chin, and I throw power into every shot, and I'm fit as fuck at the moment. So I just see me getting a knockout early doors. Yeah.
Another good answer. This is a tricky one. What do you think? What do you think's overrated with Sam?
His power.
Is that what do you think his power's overrated?
I think it's overrated, yeah. I think I'm going to eat them. I think I'm going to walk through the shots. I think he's going to get the shock of his life. I think his power, I think his power's overrated. He's not flatlining kids, is he? You know, he's putting them over. They're jumping back up.
Knocking them over. Yeah.
He's knocking them over. He's knocking them over, but they're not me, mates.
Yeah.
Look at the size of my Desperate Dan jaw, lad. You know what I mean? I train my neck every day.
Going back to your last, the last question he asked you and the last answer you given about, you know, if he brings the dog out in you. When I interviewed him, that's what he said he's looking for.
I know.
He's looking for a real fight. Do you know what I mean? He wants to test himself. What do you think about that?
Ultimately, both of us have got a similar mindset, and I think that's why Stefan could see that it made for a great fight, because Stefan watched me spar in his gym and eat shots and walk through shots. I will walk through your shots, mate. I'm not a very vain person. I'm not someone who's asked about getting my face mashed up in this game. Ultimately, down the stretch, my face will get mashed up in this game, part and parcel of the sport. What do I want out of this? I want to be a world champion. So I'm prepared to walk through everything that he's got. And I'm just, bring it on, now. If you want the dog, that's what you'll get, mate. I'll have DMX in my ears before I go out there. Do you think? You know what I mean? Some of these sessions I've put myself through for this fight, there's literally, the inner battle is harder than the outer battle. Yeah. And there's been many a time in this camp where I've put myself through sessions where I felt like 8 minutes in and I want to quit, right? Yeah. And then I persevered for the rest of the session. And that inner battle is much harder than anything any of these fighters are going to put me through. That inner battle to resist quitting when your fucking lungs are screaming at you. So obviously there's the chance you get banged out in a fight, which is part and parcel of the sport, which I'm sure will happen to me one day, because it's part and parcel of our sport. One day you're going to get cut, one day you're going to get knocked out, one day you're going to get dropped. It's part and parcel. When that happens, who knows? But when I'm hurt, I'm not the type of fighter to start putting my head down or going like that. I'm getting after you, mate, like the dog, and I'm going to try and take it out. That's it. I'm going to try and say, like, for me, if I'm down on the scorecards, right, and I guarantee you this, and this is a pledge, if I'm down on the scorecards and the kid's outboxing me, and he's clearly outboxing me, and there's no chance of me winning on points, and I establish that early, I'm getting after you like a yard dog, mate. I'm getting after you to try and knock you out, and I'll go out on my shield. I'm not that guy who's like willing to go to points and survive to points. I'm going to come for you. I'm coming full pelt, and that's the type of fighter I am. And you're gonna get to see that, because there's gonna be fights where they're a little bit too quick for me because I'm close to my 40s. But then, that's where you're gonna see that. Well, okay then, let's swing then. Let's just swing and see if I catch you. I might catch one on the way in, but that's all part and parcel of what I'm bringing to the table.
Yeah, it's right, mate. Brilliant, mate. when we spoke to you in the gym last week, you mentioned Susie, you know, like your nerves before the fight and all that. You know, it's only natural. Do you think that? Do you think you're going to feel the same way on this fight, or?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Exactly the same way. It's human nature, isn't it? You're going into a position where you're gonna go into a position where you could suffer massive embarrassment in front of a huge crowd, including your family. You know, you could get banged out in front of your bed. You know what I mean?
I know.
You know what I mean? So there's that element of fear of the embarrassment. There's not the element of fear of getting hurt, because, you know, we're all fighters. You know what I mean? You've been in the gym loads of times. It's just part and parcel. But there's the element of fear of being embarrassed, humiliated. That's what it is, more so than anything. I'm not worried about being hurt. I'm just worried about being humiliated. Like, I will get hurt at some point in this journey. It's part of the sport. One day I'm gonna listen. One day I'm gonna hurt my hand on someone's head, and then I'm just gonna have to battle with one arm. Like, I understand all of that, but it's just the humiliation of getting beat like that. That for me is hard to be dominated by another man. That's the fear. To be dominated by another man in a combat setting is the fear. So yeah, I will feel that on the day, and it will only be natural, and I will tell myself all of these mad things before I get out, and I will build this monstrous picture of this opponent that's getting in the ring with me. But ultimately, when my music comes on and I'm in that ring, all of that goes away.
You'll use that.
That's the fear. Fear is the catalyst, mate. Fear is the flame that feeds the performance. You need it. And if you don't have it, you're on the spectrum in some way, I think. To be honest with you.
100%, mate, 100%. You're not all there, are you? If you don't get that.
You're a different kind of human if you don't have it, especially if you don't have it and you perform. Now, in the amateurs, I had bouts where I was stepping in the championships and that, where I was stepping into rematches with kids that battered in previous fights, and I didn't have fear in them fights, and I performed terrible. Every time I had one of those fights, I performed terrible. I only ever performed well off the back of fear.
Yeah, when you said
yeah.
100%. Mate, you both knockout merchants. We know that. Or knockout/knockdown merchants, whatever way you want to do it. Have you altered any? Have you made any adjustments because you're fighting someone who's potentially got that stoppage power?
No. I'm the banger. I'm the banger here.
For his power.
No, I'm the banger, mate. I'm the banger. But what am I gonna? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I'm gonna sit in the pocket, and I'm gonna see if I can slip his shots. I'm gonna try and, you know what I mean. It doesn't change because he's got punch power. It never has for me, because I've been in with serious bangers, and I've never. You know, I've touched the deck twice in all the thousands of rounds I've done over the years, and these were against one was against a kid called Joel Feed. He hit me with this like mad, like, he used to have this mad style. He hit me with this mad chop and left hook that I didn't see. But then I've done hundreds of rounds with him after that, where he never got close to dropping me, but he would still hit you. And I got dropped by another kid called Alan Thompson. Again, and it taught me a valuable lesson. It taught me that I threw a left hook to the body, and as I threw a left hook to the body, he come over the top, and it taught me that. And I had that then. So what I do now is I open, and just from that one lesson, I open my palm and my hand, and then the glove absorbs the whack.
Yeah. So
whenever I throw a left hook to the body, you'll always see me shelled up like that. Sometimes my elbow flares a little bit, but that's down to lack of coaching. But when that's on point, but yeah, I've been in with lads who are considered proper bangers, and nothing's ever changed. I'll walk through the shots. Ultimately, what is my style? I'm not a back foot fighter. I'm an educated pressure fighter, and so the fighters I grew up watching. I used to love watching Paul Ingle or Barry McGuigan, or I used to love watching or a Hatton. They're my types of fighters. I'll get after you with educated pressure behind a good solid jab. Although when I watched my last performance back, I wasn't too happy with it because I neglected my jab. But the way the kid was moving, he already just gave me. It was like I didn't even have to unpick the lock. You know what I mean? With my jab, he just was moving onto it, and if it's there, then take it. But I'm looking forward to having a good opponent in Sam, who's got a bit of amateur pedigree, and he's got 14 years in the game. He says I'm looking forward to it because then I can put on a true schooling.
Yeah.
And you can see me skills. I want you to see me skills. I want you to see me boxing skills, not just. I think it looked all right with my head movement. My head movement was a bit evasive last time, but look, that's why my head movement's always been evasive, because I watched Dingle, because I watched McGuigan, because my stepdad had me doing, from an early age, slip, roll. My head movement's always been. I've always been quite difficult to hit, whereas Sam doesn't really look difficult to hit. You know what I mean? His head looks like a de-shelled pistachio that's got mouldy, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Looks like he's got a few dents in his head.
I knew that was coming.
I wish you were here for the banter.
There's one final question, mate. Right, I'm gonna add the Mad Jock on as well now, mate. Right, because I think he's got a question or two for you. He's waiting in the queue room, but I didn't want to stop you in your tracks.
No, appreciate it. Let me ramble.
There's one final question, mate. Right, I'll put the Jock on and then I'll ask you.
Go ahead.
How you doing, lads?
Yes, Kyle, how are you, mate?
Sorry, guys, mate. I was fucking fitting carpets for a wee old dear, mate, and
we can't see you, Kyle.
I'm in the car.
Oh, you're in the car?
In the car, mate.
Right.
Aye, mate.
I'm going to ask him the last question I've got, Kyle. And then if you've got anything you want to ask us, I believe you've got one or two you want to ask him as well.
Last question, guys, right, obviously Sam Clarke. Oh, there you go. You go first. Nick,
Sam's fought at Fenton Manor previously.
Oh yeah.
Do you think that's going to give him some kind of edge or any kind of?
That's all superstitious, isn't it? I'm not really a superstitious kind of guy. Like, the ring's the ring. You know what I mean? The ring will be mine, mate, on the night. The ring will be mine, mate. I'm the boss. I'm the boss, mate. I'm the boss when we get in there. I don't give a fuck where the ring is. It could be in his backyard. When we step in that ring and it's just Bravo for Bravo, mano and mano, it's just me and him. Doesn't matter where we are, mate. And the skills are the skills and the power's the power.
Yeah. That is right. He's answered once again. Kyle, before I ask you any final words and a few bits and bobs, have you got a question for Mick, mate?
I've got a question for Mick, and obviously Sam's probably watching this as well, right? Both you guys are very confident in winning the fight. Why don't you both get interested and put your purse on the line?
Say again.
I said, both you guys are very confident in winning the fight. So why don't you both agree to put your purse on the line?
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. Sam, if you're here, 1,000,000%. I bet you my purse that I'll knock you out.
That's a great point,
I bet you every
I
penny.
love that.
I'll give you some more to obviously.
Yeah, Stefan, if you're watching, withhold the purse till after the bout. If he agrees to it, I bet you my purse I'll knock you out.
Good enough.
That's a cracker one, that, Kyle.
A nice, interesting one that is. It makes the fight a bit more better, more a grudge.
100%.
The crowd will love that as well, you know what I mean? And you guys will love that as well.
I bet you my purse I'll knock you out.
Nice. I like that.
Well, if you're watching Sam, which I'm sure you are, mate, do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what you're doing, you'll be watching this now.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll be dying to chime in now.
Troublemaker, mate. I'm a fucking troublemaker,
isn't I? Cause a murder, Kyle. Have a sleep on it, Sam, and let us know, and we'll get the answer back to me.
Yeah, make a video. Put your purse on the line, kid. If you're that confident. bet you me purse and knock you out cold.
That's a fucking good one, like that. I've just got
Unless
I've listened to it all,
I
but
bet you me purse and knock you out cold unless you throw yourself on the deck and give me a complete and utter surrender.
Right.
Good man.
Right. Mick, thank you, mate. Listen, you're brilliant, Chassis. Listen, we could do this all night. Before we end it, mate, any final words? And Sam,
Shout-outs. Any shout-outs as well?
answer your fans, because you've got fans now.
Yeah, so I'd love to give a shout out to my sponsors out in Zambia. Really appreciate you. Obviously, I can't mention you for whatever reasons. But just know that I'm very, very, very grateful for you. Very, very grateful for you. And without you, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. And I appreciate you giving me the time to train. And that goes to me number one guy out there as well, Luke. I appreciate you giving me the time to train, mate, and do what I need to do and fitting in work around me. I love you and I appreciate you a lot. Shout out to my family, of course, you know, putting up with me, my kids, my wife, dealing with me being snappy and sharp and horrible. This is not the man that I'm going to be come September the 21st when my hormones are regulated and I've come down a little bit off cloud 9 after the knockout. Dream Body, Lenny, thank you for sponsoring me, mate. I really appreciate and love you. Definitely appreciate what you're doing, and any sponsors you want to jump on board, yeah, just get in touch with me.
How can we get in touch with you on your socials, Mick?
Let me say again.
I said, how can we get in touch with you on your socials? What's the best way to contact you and that if anyone wants to get in touch with you for sponsor-wise?
The Baby Silverback on Instagram. And I'd also like to give out a shout out to Mikey Newman, who's my sponsor. He's got a brand. It's called Invictus Legends. Inexorable is his word. Yeah, that's the company, Inexorable. He sponsored me. I'd love to give a shout out to him as well. He's coming down on the night. We're going to get a photo shoot with his t-shirts on and whatnot. And this guy is on another level. When he speaks to me, he speaks nothing but complete sense, and he kind of reins me in a little bit. He's a super intelligent guy, Mikey Newman. So I'd love to give you a shout out to you as well, mate. Is there anyone else?
If anyone wants a ticket, contact
Iron Gen X. I'd love to give a shout out to you, Paul Hegarty. I told you the story the other day. A friend of mine lost his son, Brandon, when he was only 14. And he's built a fitness brand. He was, I'm sure he won't mind me mentioning this, but he went down to 8 stone, wet, Paul, and he's a big kid. You want to see him in the gym, he's in boss shape. And he went down to 8 stone after he lost his son. He said it was at the grave, and it's hard for me to talk about, actually, because I'm probably well up, but the long and short of it is, he built his brand through the pain of losing his son, and they were best of friends. And yeah, Iron Gen X, if you'd like to get behind his brand and help him build it into something he can make his son proud of, then definitely go on to Instagram, check out Iron Gen X, and get behind me mate and what he's trying to build in his brand that was built through the pain of losing his son, Paul Hegarty. And if you want tickets, get in touch with me on my socials. I've still got tickets left. I've still got £85 and £55 tickets left. So if you want to get tickets off me, yeah, give me a shout. I've done very, very well, and I'm very grateful, actually, and I should have mentioned this earlier. Every single one of you who reached out to me to buy a ticket so far, of which I think there's been about 100 or so. I'm very, very lucky. In my first fight, I sold about 30 odd tickets. For this fight, I've sold about 100 or more. And I'm very, very grateful for everyone who's reached out with a message or bought a ticket off me or showed some interest in me or my story. I'm just very grateful for you, you know, and I'll continue to be an authentic version of myself. If I don't believe in your supplements or I don't believe in what you're trying to sell, I'm not going to represent you. And that brings me to another person I'd like to thank. I'd like to thank Mark Hayes for his cryo clinic in Birkenhead. They helped me with an injury that I was carrying through the training. I injured my right forearm. Now for the past week and a half or so, I've been able to whack my right hand in as hard as I can. It's the first time in a long time because I injured myself against that Mbachi Kaunga. So I'm all tickety-boo now, and I attribute that to the cryotherapy and the red light treatment that I had, because literally, lads, the morning after I spoke to yous, I said, I can't hit that with my right hand.
Yeah.
I said, because I'll hurt me knuckle on the thing. That morning, I shot straight to the cryotherapy. 2 days later, I'm whacking the bag with my right hand. Honestly, that cryotherapy chamber has been a blessing for me. It's been a blessing. So I'd like to give a shout out to him as well for the treatment that he gave me, and I'm very, very grateful. And you know, just my dad and my son for everything to put up with me, and me dad for me kind of, my dad and my mum really, but and my stepdad, but for being where I am. You know, my dad sat at every single session as a kid, was there day in, day out, drove me down the beach so I could do my runs after work, and he'd just wait. And then he cooked me tea when I got back, and he just turned me, you know, he helped in turning me into the fighter that I've become. And my coaches as a kid, you know, Peter Phelan, Davy Leeds, George Treble, Bernie Mac, Richie Pope, my sparring partners Nick and Davy Clarke and Danny Duffy and Jace Millett, you know, Paul Stredder, all of these guys. Paul Stredder was a good bare knuckle boxer as well, and he'd be doing me corner. You ever watch Paul? You ever watch Paul in the BKB?
No, mate, it's not.
Yeah, he was a good fighter. All of these guys, I'd like to, if there's anyone I've missed, I'm sorry, but just in the immediate, you know, thank you for you all. I'm very grateful. So yeah, and my mother-in-law, Jean Hughes, an angel. I'm grateful.
Mate, you're a humble guy, very intelligent, and it's a shame Sam couldn't come on today because, you know, obviously there's fans on here. It's a bare knuckle channel, and everyone's been wanting to see you and speak to you. I mean, the chat have all been asking questions, mate, but we've had enough questions. So, do you get what I mean? We can't. Maybe next time you come on.
Lads, ultimately, thank you for taking the time out of your holiday. You know you're out there in Greece having the time of your lives. You've got a relationship there that, like, it's beautiful to see the both of you on holiday together with your kids. You know, it's the stuff dreams are made of, to have a best friend like that. So I presume you're best friends anyway, but yeah, definitely. Like, I appreciate you both taking your time out of your, the three is, I appreciate you taking your time out of your day to give me an interview and give me some exposure.
It's a pleasure, mate.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity, lads. I appreciate it. I'm going to go and try and be the best version of a dad that I can be now and read my kids a story before they go to sleep.
That's right, mate. You're a legend. For everyone that's watching, fans of the phone, don't forget to tune in. Instagram, it'll be streamed live as well. The link will be on Instagram, YouTube. I'll share it on the YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Listen, the 20th.
Yeah, the 20th. Let's go. You want to come and see a highlight? You want to come and see a highlight reel knockout? You want to come and see a man who's desperate to become a world champion? Puts everything into training and is desperate to put on spectacular performances. Come and watch me, get a ticket, or watch me on the live, whatever you do. Listen, I'm there for war, mates. I'm there for war, and I'm there for every spectacular performance. Regardless, I'm going to come out swinging, and I'm going to punch holes in this kid and any kid who else they put in front of me as well. So get the opportunity to watch me. Yeah, just expect a fantastic, educated, pressure performance.
Right. Yeah.
Right, good night, lads. Take care. See you later.
Much appreciated, mate. Thank you. Kyle.
Cheers for that, mate.
Is right, mate.
Start, mate.
We'll phone you
Mate,
in a minute, mate.
I listened to the whole live, mate. It just fucking... Sat.
He's great talking, any mate. He's fucking nails it. You know, he's an easy man to interview, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%, mate. I listened to it once I was working, mate. I just couldn't jump on it. It was a fucking pain in the arse, man.
Yeah.
But I mate, it sounds fucking very confident. I mean, that's why I chucked that last question in there.
Yeah.
To see if we can back it up, you know what I mean? But he's looking very fucking. He is a powerful guy. I mean, we watched him the last fight, didn't he? Knock that boy out.
Yeah.
Oh. So. Yeah, it's fucking.
Right.
How's the holiday going?
It's good, mate. It's we're home tomorrow, mate. We fly home tomorrow.
Oh.
I've been fucking being savaged, mate. The mosquitoes just keep fucking eating me, mate. Get on this.
You have to buy it off.
You love a bit of English.
Off's the best stuff, and mosquitoes the only thing that works. I get eaten alive by mosquitoes.
Yeah.
So I just fucking finished fucking double shift at work, man. Brutal, man.
Right, mate. I'll phone you now when we come. I can't hear you, mate.
Yeah, mate. Mate, I'll phone you when I get back in the house, okay?
Okay, mate. It's right, Carlcast, everyone. Everyone. Mick Kelly, Carlcast, Rob Morris, Chuck. 20th of September. Don't miss out. Peace out. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in.
Cheers, guys.
It's right, you'll never walk alone. Pick up the chat.